Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm starting my 5th year and I work with Yarrow Axford. So I'll briefly share some research updates. This summer I published my first 2 papers in quaternary science reviews. This first paper looked at 3 glacial lake records from South Greenland. Our 3 study sites are circled here in red. Previously there were no continuous records of how glaciers fluctuated during the Holocene from this region in Greenland. If you're unfamiliar, the Holocene is the last 11,000 years or so of Earth's history. So our main findings here were that glaciers were present in the early Holocene in South Greenland, which indicates that the region remained relatively cool during that time. We also found that mountain glaciers there did not melt away until the middle Holocene, and that southern Greenland likely experienced delayed warming relative to other regions in Greenland. We also compiled all the Holocene lake-based glacier and ice cap records from Greenland and found a latitudinal trend. The gray bars here represent when glaciers were smaller than present or absent. As you can see, we found that in general, glaciers in the north became smaller, melted away earlier in the Holocene than those in the south. We also estimated the summer temperature change relative to present required to melt away the glaciers in the middle Holocene, as well as during a recent cold period called the Little Ice Age. To do this, we used several geospatial methods and modeled past glacier surfaces. And the figure on the right here shows a summary of this work and shows the present glacier extents in white and the extent of the Little Ice Age glaciers in gray. The second paper looked at 2 glacial lake records from southwest Greenland. The 2 watersheds, which I've shown here in the gray polygons, host present-day glaciers of contrasting size and elevation. Pears Lake hosts part of a single small ice cap, while nearby Lake T3 hosts numerous glaciers and ice caps totaling about 100 square kilometers. So interestingly, we found that some high elevation ice probably survived the Holocene thermal maximum in the T3 watershed, and this result is in contrast to other glacier records from the southern half of Greenland. We also found progressive cooling and glacier regrowth in the late Holocene, which is in agreement with other studies from Greenland. So this summer, I've also been working on compiling data for a review paper, which will look at all of the lake-based records of glacier and ice cap fluctuations from the Arctic. And here are some preliminary data showing the percent of records, which indicate that glaciers and ice caps were smaller than present or absent over time in 4 longitudinal regions. So this fall, I plan on continuing this work and looking further into these trends. Thanks.